Really. So that way, when I'm hungry, I say, do your yoga first, 30 minutes every day.
Hey, if it works for you, that's what matters, right? So we're good.
Exactly. You got to get into a routine. It's a good rut to be in. So please tell me, what is your objective and goal for this meeting today? Because I wasn't sure. All I know it's solar.
Well, the bottom line is our audience listens to what we bring to the table from a leadership perspective. So whenever we bring someone up, it kind of authenticates them from our standpoint. And so the key is what we've already talked about. We want to talk about it again, but this time do it for the audience so that people will be able to reach out, talk to you, and on their own, and find
Okay.
out some of the key points that you stress that they can engage you one-on-one and pick your brain on.
And who is your audience?
Well, we have 20 zip codes in Chicago. So our
Wow.
Chicago have leaders in each zip leaders, we call them governors. So the
Okay.
governors are responsible for all things that's good happening inside their zip codes.
And their neighborhoods. That's good. Yeah. Because there are, in my opinion, many, or I could say too many, who aren't aware of the solar program that I can present that has positive financial implications for the homeowner without them having to buy the panels.
So first, how did we meet? You and I.
I think were you on TV at all with something? Maybe.
No, it was with Craig Wimberly. I think you was. I spoke at a Cole meeting, right?
Okay, yes. Yeah, I've been going to Cole for several years. Craig and I are both alumni of the University of Chicago MBA program, so I know him and I can get very direct on how we can improve things. So
excellent.
yes, yes.
So
because
that's how we got connected.
right, because I grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on the south side, which was all very Polish and a very low-income community. So you had to work for everything.
Mhm.
I worked my way through college. I didn't have any loans or any of that stuff.
Okay.
And well, I didn't have the bias the Black community does. There was still a lot against Polish people. You know, they always
Right.
at us how we dressed. They always said we only shower, wash once a week and all kinds of stuff. But, you just sort of pursue through it and you get good results.
Yeah. Well, from what I understand, I'm 46. From what I understand, everyone except the German Americans was going through something. The Italians had to go through something when they came. The Polish had to go through something. So that's what it sounds like what you guys went through as well.
Yes, very much so.
Now, outside of Warsaw, though, isn't Chicago the second largest destination for Polish Americans?
That is correct. Yes, I learned that a couple years ago. I didn't know that.
Yeah. All right. I have several Polish friends. So
yes,
what's the big hot dog that you guys have? Annually, it's a big hot dog or something. What is it called? Pasiski? Pasheki? What is that food? It's a big food that they go all out for once a year, and it's like a donut.
Oh, yeah.
Pasheki or something like that. But
Yeah.
I know it was a big deal in Sears Tower. I worked in Sears Tower, and it's a strong Polish community there that works there, and they would give everyone these big old donuts with filling inside it once a year. It was a big deal.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay.
Absolutely. And as I tell people that I'm a former math teacher, so I understand numbers. And I also know how to save money because I was raised Polish and we know how to buy things cheaper for everything.
Excellent. So with the state of America, the U.S., are you hopeful or hopeless or in the middle with the future?
I am very strongly positive about the change that's going to happen. As I tell people, our new president knows how to spell climate change, which has positive support for solar industry. And also the diversity of the people he's choosing for his cabinet is very much. And as I tell people, I said, Kamala Harris, she had 2 majors in college, not only political science, but she was an economics major, which means she knows how to understand numbers with a dollar sign in front of it.
No, that's important. I didn't know that. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, and the other thing, there's another detail that you may not know, because they say, well, she's not African American because her father was from Puerto Rico or
Jamaica.
but his father migrated from Africa to there, and he happened to be born there. But his father, her father's father is from Africa.
Well, you remember the 1 drop rule, right? So, I mean, that blows that argument right away. So the 1 drop rule back in the day, that takes care of that. So people are always going to have something to say, which makes life interesting, so I don't worry about that.
Right, exactly.
Now, how did you get, so when you guys working on your MBA, that's when you found out what he was working on, and then you said, let me just come to the meeting? Is that how that went down, you and Craig?
No, about over 5 years ago, there was a fellow who's a CPA who started networking groups. He has about 15 of them a month all around the city. They're now virtual, but in different parts of the city for people to network, and you don't have to be a CPA, but he published it through the Illinois CPA Society. And I met, that's where he told me about that meeting, because he lives on the South Side in Beverly. And I love diversity. I tell people, I don't care what color you are, where you came from. I want you to be ethical and good problem solvers. And so I love that. And it, I sit down with the table with Roland Barris all the time, the former politician. And he and I are both what we call ex-cons. People said, what? I said, that just means we both worked at some time in our life for Continental Bank. So we call ourselves ex-cons. We had a big reunion about 3 years ago with about 500 people downtown. It was very exciting.
Now, I remember you told me about that when we first spoke. That was funny then, still funny. So what are you presenting to us? It made sense dealing with solar, which is the direction of society now. Tell us about that.
Well, I understand when there is deregulation of industries. I became the first global voice manager for a major bank. Actually, it was Continental Bank when AT&T divested. And I got responsibility for every branch all over the world for their telephone systems, which is important in banking. And so when this energy deregulation came, there was a company, and I was approached by to become a member. And we are now, it's called Ambit Energy, and it is now the largest reseller of electricity and gas in the world. We're in all of Japan, we're in Canada, we're in like 17 states and Washington, D.C. And 5 years ago, they partnered with Sunrun, which is the largest residential installer of solar panels in the United States. She's in 26 states. A woman, CEO Lynn, who when she was, I'm not sure when it was, but she got her MBA at Stanford, and she did a some kind of study in China, and she learned, because China doesn't follow any regulations, how bad the air quality was. And she's, I want to have children, and I don't want to raise them with all this bad. So she was very motivated for that. Right. So when she and the guy who was a partner with the company, we're looking at solar, and she said, everybody's looking at how to build the panels, but no one's looking at how you install them on people's homes. And then she said, not everybody can afford the panels, because sometimes they're $20 or $30 or $1,000 or more. And so that's when she created this solar as a service. And she also, I said, she's not only smart, she has a heart, because 3 years ago, remember in Puerto Rico, had all those storms and they lost she worked with 3 companies to rebuild their electrical system, their grid. She donated $1 million to people. And my company partnered with her 5 years ago. And the other thing is last fall, she bought her largest competitor. So she's just really I said, she's smart and she has a heart and she knows how to do things. And she said, when I first, there are a lot of videos about her out there. And she said, when I started the business, I didn't send marketing people to talk to customers. She said, I went out there and talked to customers. And so,
That's marketing.
yeah. And she created what is referred to as no cost solar as a service. That if people have a single family home with a peaked roof and they come out and they do an evaluation, and she's now even paying for repairs on the roof, that you can save at least 20% on your electric bill. And the contract with her is for 20 years. So whatever you start today at 20% less is forward for 20 years. And ComEd is raising their rate every 3 to 6 months these days. And they maintain the panels. And when you go to sell your house, it increases the value. And when you sell the house, they take care of all the transfer of the ownership, all the legal papers. They take care of the city inspections. And the homeowner writes a check to Sunrun for the electric service. But curious, as you know how Illinois is and the politicians and everything, when Sunrun applied to get certified in the state of Illinois, the Illinois Energy Organization required them to call the payment to them a lease, which people think that they're paying for the panels, which they're not. She owns her company owns the panels, and you pay her company for the electricity. And then if you use more than what the panels have been designed for, there is another program we just started about 6 months ago with Ambit Energy that you pay about a penny less than ComEd, but you get gifted $50 a month in like a debit card. So if you have to use ComEd, so you get to save 20% a month on your regular bill. And then you also get gifted $50 that you can use at grocery stores, technologies companies, restaurants, hotels. It's really.
And the third benefit is the fact that you're saving the planet, correct?
Exactly. Absolutely. And that's why I'm so excited with the new president that people, and what I observe, because I'm very good at observing people's behavior and cultures, the Black community and the Hispanic community, they aren't very many people who know about solar as a service. They think they have to buy the panels. You got this guy who's on TV, who's talking about, say, you get $1,000, but yeah, that's when you buy the panels for $30,000. The other thing that I've learned, and we've got one of the best state managers in Sunrun in the US, is what I learned from talking with him offline, because you learn a lot when you talk to people offline. He said, if you live south of the Mason-Dixon line and you buy panels, he said, you get blazing sun all day long, every day. He said, you collect enough energy to not only get all the energy for your home, you'll sell it back to the grid. You'll make money to not only pay for your panels, you'll probably make more money than that. So you make up a profit. But he said, when you're north like we are, we don't have those many sunny days. So solar as a service is a lot better for northern states.
Now, do you have real examples of people who are benefiting from that in the South versus the North?
No, that's where I'd have to get Sean, our Illinois. He said, JoAnn, don't talk about the details, and I bring him on.
No. Yeah, I just wanted the audience to know that it's real. It's not just what you're speaking about, that there are real examples of it working.
Well, and integrity is my number one value. And I tell people I'm a former math teacher, so I'm a tough grader. And Sean used to do medical research at Northwestern Hospital, and he left that to join this business here. So he's very technically competent, but he's also a communicator. So when he talks, you can understand what he says. Sometimes when you talk to very technical people, that's not always.
Yep. They're talking in their code, their language. So what does it look like? We have, and let's just take Inglewood, West Inglewood, a house on 62nd in Winchester, peak roof, would love to save money, also care about the planet. what should they do next?
What they do is they call me. I get them registered to get a number, and then Sean has a virtual, Sean, our Illinois manager, has a virtual call meeting with them. And then he will send somebody out to their house to do an estimate. And
Is
they,
that free? That estimate?
absolutely, absolutely. The homeowner doesn't, Sean says, the lawyer says we can't use the word free, but the homeowner doesn't pay for any of this stuff. They don't pay
Okay.
for the insurance that maintains the roof and the panels. They don't pay for the panels. They don't pay for the installation.
Okay.
Someone takes care of all that. And as I said, recently, Lynn started even paying for repairs to the roof to get the roof ready. And so, what I would suggest, if there is somebody who is interested, and it doesn't require them to commit to the program, but just to go through that experience of meeting with Sean, having them come out, and then they get a proposal written for them to sign.
And can that be done remotely? I know them coming out, they can do that safely. One
Yes.
person can come and
Yes,
do that,
absolutely.
right? So
Yes,
we can be
absolutely.
COVID safe. Okay. Now,
Absolutely.
does this work in Mississippi? Can someone in Mississippi participate?
I don't, Ambit Energy is not there, so we don't offer the solar as a service there.
Okay.
And they're in Sunrun is in 26 states, but I don't know the states outside of, from my company, Ambit Energy, if they have solar as a service.
Okay.
The other thing
That'll help me out if I knew those places, because of our 20 zip codes and 20 cities linked to those zip codes. That'll be helpful for me.
Okay, I can get you that list for that. The other thing is, when people get to join my team, they're actually becoming a representative like I am for Ambit Energy. So you save people on electricity, on their gas bill, and then also get the no-cost solar panels. The compensation, the fourth compensation is solar, which is very beneficial. You get $250 bonus when they sign up. You get $250 bonus when the panels are installed, and then you get 20 years of a residual income every month.
And you've done this. So right now you've benefited economically from what you're saying to me.
Yes, yeah. And
that's always good. A real testimony.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, how do people reach you?
Say again?
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish. I'm gonna ask you after you're done.
No, you were going to ask me something. I was finished.
No, well, yeah. How do people reach you? So if a person say, "How I like what JoAnn Becker is speaking about. I want to get involved or learn more," what should they do?
Well, they just give me a call, or have somebody say, someone who knows them contacts me and calls me, because part of what we do, neither company, Ambit or Sunrun, buys commercials. We don't do advertising. It's all talking to people. I said, we don't sell, we tell. I don't have to sell you to use electricity.
Right. No, that makes sense.
And so the business model we have is, it's called network marketing. We talk to people. And that's why when LinkedIn came out, I had my database of 6,000 people that I knew for 15 years, because when I collect someone's information, I also identify what's the date I met them and where I met them. So when I reach out to them, I say, hey, might remember we had lunch across the table at this meeting.
Right. Excellent. Nah, that sounds like you're a Capricorn or a Leo. So that's good, though. Attention to detail.
Yeah.
So are you going to give your phone number, or how do you want to do that? So our audience will be able to get in touch with you.
Yeah. My phone number is 847-682-5665. Now, the other thing, if there is one of these organizations in a zip code, I can arrange, and we offer the solar as a service there. I can get Sean to do a virtual presentation for 10, 15 minutes. And Sean always answers questions focused on the house, because you don't want to know the theoretical response. You want to know what it means to your house.
Exactly. Okay. And so if I wanted to get a panel on my house, I don't want to be in a group meeting. I want a one-on-one. So you're saying, Sean, we'll
You'll
do
do
that
that.
one-on-one consultation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. He works literally 7 days a week, morning, noon, and night. I mean,
Okay.
he's not busy everything, but that's his availability.
I'm making a note of that now. Okay. All right. Cool beans. And what I want people to know, is there a possibility you're saving the planet, you're making some money, but is there a profit sharing where you can help go out and get more customers and you can earn money that way as well? Is that a part of it?
Well, if this is the non-solar part, Ambit has a program called Free Energy. And if someone who has just the electricity or gas and they refer 15 of their friends, they earn a check from Ambit to pay for their energy. But the solar service doesn't have that. You would
Okay.
have to join my team, which costs $75 to join the business forever. and
Nope.
and we're in about 12 states, Washington, D.C. We're in Alberta, Canada. We're in all of Japan. And the other thing is Ambit was acquired a little over a year ago by a 100-year-old company. It's the largest producer of electricity in the United States. And the CEO is not only from Galesburg, Illinois, he and I are both alumni of the University of Chicago. So I reached out to him and said, hey, you've got an alumni here. And he's the one who developed what we call this Power Perks 12 program, where people get gifted $50 a month. Because he said, if you treat your customers nice, they're loyal. And
Yep.
he spoke at our virtual conference, and I said, he didn't even sound like a CEO. He said, he said, companies need to be part of the solution, not the problem.
Yes.
He said, and
No,
our
no, I
core
love that.
values are number one, integrity, do the right thing. Number two, work together as a team. Number three, play to win. And number four, treat all of your stakeholders well, which is employees, customers, and people like me who represent the company. So I
No,
said,
I love
this is
it.
just, I mean, I'm helping people financially. This business helps refund my retirement fund, which took a tank in 2008.
Okay.
Economy. And, I'm helping people and helping the environment. I mean, everything is positive here.
And for us, we do everything inside a 16 block radius. So inside each of these 16 block radiuses are blocks designated as our environment and health blocks. So they look at the effects of the environment on your health, and there are blocks inside each one of these we call villages throughout all of Black Chicago. And that means we have people already primed and ready. We just got to come with them with the information and get them operating in their distribution channels. So I feel
Right.
like we're ready. You were ready. So I'm glad you gave your number out. Is there anything that we missed? Anything we need to share?
Well, here's a pattern that I saw that I think is going to work with solar industry. How did adults learn about recycling? Their children learned about it in school. Then they came home and said, Mom and Dad, you can't do this. We have to recycle. And they taught their parents. And I think that's going to be something that would work also for solar energy, that we teach the kids in, all in higher grade school and all through high school about the impact. And then they go home to mom and dad. And, there's one physician I know very well. He's retired now on the North Shore. And his wife didn't want the panels because she said the panels are ugly. Well, that objection is going to go away when everybody else has it. When people go to sell their house, they not only the value of the house is higher, they sell faster because young people like solar panels. They know how benefited it. I mean, you got that teenager in Sweden who's, talking about climate.
No, the environment and your pocketbook. So it's a double-edged benefit. So Gary, Indiana, is that part of your jurisdiction?
Right now, Indiana's not solar. It's not electricity yet. It's only gas, natural gas. But we're looking, things are opening up.
Okay.
So, especially with the new president, I'm sure things are going to be really moving.
So what I'm gonna do, because like I said, I wanted to capture the video, get it on YouTube, so we can strategically target our key leaders in each of the regions and then the villages, so that they can drive home this message. So please get your phone number out again.
847-682-5665. And I also have 2 pages what has information about Sun Run. It has what states we're in and the basic process. It's really very good. Sean is really good. So I'll send that to you too.
Please do, please do. And let's follow up in like 30 days or so and see how this goes. But at least we got it. They can meet you via virtually, see you, see that they can be willing to trust you or not, and then we go see who takes action and then follow back in 30 days. Are you
Right,
okay with that?
absolutely. That sounds fine with me and I'm available. I'm an early riser. I grew up on a lake, getting up early with my dad to go fishing. And
Good.
in fact, my first business, I was in 5th grade. My dad used to water the lawn and I used to pick up the night crawlers and sell them to the fishermen at night. And
Entrepreneurism.
yeah, so I'll take calls from 7 in the morning till 10 at night, but I crash at like 10:30.
Nah, that's important. Dedication matters. So I'm really grateful, and I'm gonna let Craig know I appreciate him meeting you and staying connected with you. That way we can benefit from what you bring
And
to the
I
table.
also tell people, since I grew up in Wisconsin, I happened to grow up during the era when Vince Lombardi was the coach of the Packers. And I said, if there's one thing you learn from Vince Lombardi, never, ever give up.
Good.
He said, falling down on the field, that's not failure. Pick yourself up and learn why you failed.
Yep.
And what I always like to say is, and the Chinese say, let you make new mistakes so you can keep learning. Don't keep making the same ones. So, that's part of who I am. I grew up with that. Just like growing up, save money.
Nah, I love it. I love the backstory too. So we're gonna rock and roll with that. I love to keep it short and sweet so people can digest it. And the main thing is that phone number. That phone number is key. They can replay this video over and over again, but they're gonna know 847-682. That phone number is how they reach you directly. And
just leave me a voice message or text me, because I get so many spam calls. I tend not to answer if it isn't in my contact, but if they just leave me a message, I call back.
I do the exact same thing. So, all right, well, JoAnn Becker, I salute you and appreciate you, and I look forward to in February talking with you again to see how far this can go.
That sounds very good. As you Navy people, I really like you.
Highly organized, right? So yeah.
Yeah, and you have a good culture too. As I said, I got a Navy pilot who lives next door who grew up in Brooklyn.
What I always tell people, unlike you got 5 branches, when you're out at sea, you have to have everything. You can't. It's not like you're attached to the land. Coast Guard is a little different because they're right next to their homeland. Whereas when you deploy, you're in foreign land, foreign water, vulnerable. So it's a different animal, and that's why I think it's one of the more highly organized branches.
Exactly. Absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Zach. I appreciate it.
Pleasure's mine. Thank you.